Carolina.
I'm Jim Crisula. The South Carolina Lottery allows winners to remain anonymous, one of 8 states to do so. The winner or winners have up to 6 months to claim their prize. The cash option of the $1.6 billion Mega Millions jackpot is an estimated $913 million.
The Columbus County District Attorney's Office says a second suspect has been arrested in connection with the shooting death of a trooper in Columbus County last week. Chauncey Askew has been identified as the second suspect. Columbus District Attorney John David.
I am limited in what I can talk about today factually, but I will tell you that we expect in the near future to be in a courtroom developing some of this information, because I realize that there is intense public interest surrounding this incident and a need to know information.
President Trump conceded on Tuesday that there is no proof that terrorists or violent gang members are among the caravan of migrants headed from Central America to the U.S. CBS News correspondent Laura Podesta has more.
After idling in a makeshift tent city yesterday, the caravan is expected to move to the next town, another 38 miles into Mexico today. So it's clearly a slow migration, but President Trump continues to make the caravan an urgent rallying cry for Republicans ahead of the midterms.
Authorities say 3 high schoolers were hospitalized in North Carolina after sharing a Captain Crunch bar laced with marijuana. It happened at Perquimans County High School on Monday. The sheriff's office says it has taken out charges on the suspect. Around 150 voters who received the wrong ballot at an early voting site in Brunswick County will be given a chance to cast a new ballot. For voters who decide to vote again, the original ballot will be discarded and only the new ballot will be counted. You're listening to NTN News.
Continental Tire presents our annual Big Tailgate Tour.
Coming in November, it's Florida State at NC State, followed by in-state rivalries left and right with Wake Forest at NC State, followed by Carolina's trip to Duke, then the Aggie Eagle Classic in Durham, and NC State's trip to face Carolina in Chapel Hill.
Pick up free koozies, t-shirts, and more from Sport Clips, Booze It and Lose It, and Continental Tire. Remember to drive with care on your Continental Tires and experience the ultimate MVP haircut at Sport Clips.
Tailgate with us, BigTailgateTour.com.
Basketball season is here, and so is the 2018 ACC Basketball Preview Magazine. You can find it on newsstands everywhere and online right now at ACCSports.com. Get the scoop on all the teams with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Want a copy shipped to you? It's easy. Just go to ACCSports.com and click on the Basketball Preview banner.
The Boston Red Sox came out swinging in Game 1 of the World Series last night.
The World Series opener went Boston's way.
Swung on and missed, strike 3, and Game 1 belongs to the Red Sox.
The call on the Red Sox radio network as Boston beats Los Angeles 8-4. The key blow came in the 7th inning.
Nooney swings it, drives one to left, high and deep by the wall. Gone!
A 3-run pinch hit home run by Boston's Eduardo Nunez. That gave the Red Sox a 4-run lead and put the game out of reach. Steve Futterman, CBS News at the World Series in Boston.
There was $13.1 billion in hurricane damage across 41 counties, and recovery isn't over yet. Governor Roy Cooper told a biannual North Carolina Emergency Management Assistance Conference held at Sunset Beach. FEMA Administrator Brock Long was also in attendance and told WWAY News.
We walk a fine line between the Office of Inspector General and protecting the public purse, but also rushing and expediting to get assistance into the hands of citizens.
A state panel that approves big corporate incentives on Tuesday approved grants of up to $3 million a year for 10 years to Bridgestone Americas, which is updating its Wilson tire plant. A Japanese journalist believed held hostage by Syrian militants for more than 3 years is now free.
Looking frail and thin, but speaking calmly in English, 44-year-old journalist Junpei Yasuda addressed the camera in a brief recording released by Turkish authorities.
My name is Junpei Yasuda, Japanese journalist.
My name is Junpei Yasuda, he said. I have been held in Syria for 40 months. Now I'm in safe condition. Tokyo said it did not pay a ransom for Yasuda's release, which has been credited to intervention by Qatar and Turkey. Lucy Kraft, CBS News, Tokyo.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Your local weather forecast is brought to you by Sunbelt Service Pros. For professional service, call 910-944-2044. Anytime, day or night.
Good Wednesday morning. You'll want your jacket early on today, but it will be a beautiful day. Sunny and dry throughout the day. Breezy at times as high temperatures climb in the low 60s to the north, mid 60s as we head towards the south. And tonight, mostly clear skies continue. It's going to be cooler overnight, though, as low temperatures fall in the mid-30s to lower 40s, and by tomorrow, partly sunny skies expected. High temperatures on the cooler side, upper 50s to lower 60s. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we're looking at sunny skies, 43 degrees, humidity 93%, dew point 41, pressure is 3021. Winds calm, visibility is at 10 statute miles. It's 8:14. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news. For this Wednesday hump day, a large fire broke out yesterday on the campus of Sand Hills Theater Arts Renaissance School in Bass. The fire was reported at 11 p.m. last night behind the charter school, which is located in the 100 block of Southern Dunes Drive. According to Frank Staples of the Cypress Point Fire and Rescue Department, 2 storage sheds and a small tractor behind the school were destroyed before the blaze spread to a fence connected to the facility. Several large windows of the school were broken by the heat, Staples said, but firefighters were able to prevent the flames from reaching the classroom. Staples says fire crews were still working to remove smoke from the building as late as 12:30 in the morning. Voter turnout still remains strong and steady since one-stop voting kicked in last week in Moore County last Wednesday. A week ago, Glenda Clendenin, director of the Moore County Board of Elections, said almost 5,569 ballots were cast during the first 4 days of one-stop voting. As of Monday evening, 3,094 residents had voted at the Douglas Community Center in Southern Pines, and 2,400 had voted at the Board of Elections office in Carthage. The 2 sites are the only polling places open during the one-stop voting period, which runs until November 3rd. During the one-stop window, residents can register to vote and cast their ballot early on the same day. When factoring in residents who voted early using mail-in forms, a total of 6,013 ballots have been cast as of Monday. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:17.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The Boston Red Sox have opened the World Series by thumping Clayton Kershaw and the Los Angeles Dodgers bullpen. Andrew Benintendi was 4 for 5 with an RBI single and 3 runs scored as Boston whooped Los Angeles 8-4. If you ask Benintendi, though, on becoming the 3rd Red Sox player ever with 4 hits in a World Series game, he doesn't care. Says it's no big deal to him.
I don't really care. Honestly, I'm just glad we won. You know, it starts with guys around you. Mookie getting on base, putting more pressure on the pitcher, and you got guys like Steve Pearson and JD behind me. It makes my job a little more easy.
And JD Martinez, he's referring to, he had a pair of RBIs. Then
the 1-0. Nooney swings it, drives one to left, high and deep by the wall. Gone! 3-run pitch over Eduardo Nunez. Can you believe it? And the Red Sox lead at 8-4.
That's Red Sox radio announcer Joe Castiglione with the call as Eduardo Nunez put Boston in control with a 3-run blast off Alex Wood in the 7th. The Red Sox, they're 13-2 in World Series games since they dropped Game 7 of the Fall Classic in 1986. Boston seeking its 4th championship in 15 years. Game 2 slated for Wednesday night at Fenway. David Price is Boston's scheduled starter. He'll go against Hyun Jin Yu. Today, the ACC opens its 2-day preseason men's basketball media junket in Charlotte. It comes 2 days after the league had more teams than any other league in the AP preseason poll with 7. 3 of those are in the top 10. Number 4, Duke. Number 5, Virginia. And Carolina in 8th place. Today's Media Day schedule includes a full day of interviews for league players and head coaches, which includes new arrivals, Chris Mack at Louisville and former Duke assistant Jeff Capel at Pittsburgh. This is NCN Sports.
Sometimes the simplest things can make the biggest difference. An extra pair of hands, a smile, or a shoulder. At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we feel the same about home and auto coverage, affordable rates, trusted service, and local agents. After all, making one simple difference in your life helps you make a big difference in another's. Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Hurricane Florence disrupted the lives of many North Carolinians, and with Election Day approaching, we want to make sure those affected understand their options for voting. You can register and vote during the early voting period, October 17th through November 3rd, or you can vote on Election Day, November 6th. You may also request your ballot by mail. Know your options so your voice is heard this fall. Learn more details at ncsbe.gov/Florence. Sponsored by the North Carolina State Board of Elections and Ethics Enforcement.
Blake Griffin capped his career-high 50-point performance by converting a three-point play with 1.8 seconds left and sent the Detroit Pistons to a 133-132 win over the 76ers in overtime. The Denver Nuggets and New Orleans Pelicans are among the NBA's 5 unbeaten teams. Anthony Davis highlighted a 34-point and 13-rebound performance with a clutch left-wing three with less than 2 minutes remaining in a 116-109 win over the Clippers. Dave Pasternak and Patrice Bergeron combined for 3 goals and 7 points as the Bruins whipped Ottawa. That an NHL play. Sidney Crosby scored his first 2 goals of the season and provided the winner at 2:12 of overtime to send the Penguins past Edmonton 6-5. Elsewhere, the Canadiens beat Calgary 3-2, and the San Jose Sharks beat Nashville 5-4. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Tom McInnes, Senate District 25. The son of a farmer and a public school teacher, Tom McInnes learned early the value of a dollar, a good education, and hard work. A lifelong North Carolinian, Tom McInnes has worked tirelessly to create jobs in our community and shares in our Sandhills values. Tom helped raise teacher pay to an average of $50,000 and fought against opioid addiction. As Senate Transportation Chair, Tom McInnes knows what it takes to help our area prosper. Tom McInnes, Senate District 25. Paid for by Main Street Merchants for a better North Carolina.
If you own a generator, can you answer this question? Is yours ready for an emergency? When a storm is predicted, it may be too late to get it fixed. Having a generator is just the first step in preparedness. Making sure it works is truly prepared. Beaver Equipment Company urges you to have your generator serviced to ensure the peace of mind you invested in. Beaver Equipment Company on Highway 211 in Aberdeen. Sales and service for pressure washers, air compressors, mowers, blowers, chainsaws, and generators. 944-0402.
Tom McInnes, Senate District 25. The son of a farmer and a public school teacher, Tom McInnes learned early the value of a dollar, a good education, and hard work. A lifelong North Carolinian, Tom McInnes has worked tirelessly to create jobs in our community and shares in our Sandhills values. Tom helped raise teacher pay to an average of $50,000 and fought against opioid addiction. As Senate Transportation Chair, Tom McInnes knows what it takes to help our area prosper. Tom McInnes, Senate District 25. Paid for by Main Street Merchants for a better North Carolina.
Well, there it is again. One of the big box pharmacy stores swallowing up yet another big box pharmacy. Now, you've heard me talk about supporting the mom and pops, but next time you're in one of those big chain stores and you see the endless lines of cash registers but wonder why there's only one register open, and you've been waiting a long time to save 3 cents on that one item but get gouged on another, then just think of all that money they're making for that shareholder in another state by cutting staff to the bone. At Health Innovation Pharmacy, all of our registers are staffed for your convenience. Health Innovation Pharmacy on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines. Locally owned and serving Moore County since 2001.
Hello, my name is Jeff Drummond, and I would like to tell you why I support Steve Adams for sheriff. I've talked with several Moore County citizens who have questioned aspects of Steve's plan, specifically his plan to establish a crime lab and leasing jail cells. Establishment of a crime lab is a tried and true method in North Carolina to expedite trials for the accused, which reduces jail population. Both Forsyth and Cumberland have established their own crime labs and have achieved very positive results. In most cases, processing for blood alcohol and drug identification has been reduced from years to days. That represents significant savings just in housing and feeding inmates alone. In addition, the State Bureau of Investigation has outsourced its own evidence to private labs for evaluation due to its own inability to process that evidence in a timely manner. Those empty jail cells can then be leased to other local, state, or federal authorities and actually generate revenue for the county. That's another tried and true method found here in North Carolina. Ashe County does this and paid off the bond for their new court and jail complex in about 5 years, well ahead of expectations. The current state director of prisons, George Solomon, said renting empty jail cells is, quote, a no-brainer, unquote. A current candidate for judgeship indicated that the North Carolina prison system is always looking for jail space. And the final comment on leased jail space comes from one of our own former county commissioners. When noting that Moore County used to lease its empty jail space, he said, quote, we sure do miss that extra money, unquote. That's right, Moore County used to lease its empty jail space. That's why I support Steve Adams for sheriff. He has the management skill and the vision to put Moore County on a fiscally responsible footing.
Find out about Steve's plan at adamsforsheriff.com. That's adamsforsheriff.com. Paid for by Adams for Sheriff.
It's the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup on the road today. The 2018 Chevy Silverado. Strong, capable, and built to withstand the test of time. When you need to get things done, you need a Silverado. Right now, get $11,505 in total value savings on a 2018 Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star 4-wheel drive. When you finance with GM Financial, find new roads in your new Silverado from Clark. Experience the Clark Cadillac difference. Come pick out yours today at Clark Cadillac on Dundee Road in Pinehurst.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Trained killer whales, and tigers, and lions, and families on generational welfare, what do they all have in common? Well, they've all been taught that they're not able to make it on their own. They've been taught that in order to receive a reward, they must do what their trainer demands. Look at a killer whale, an animal that could easily overpower a human and certainly has the ability to not cooperate. And yet, we've been to shows at SeaWorld where this magnificent animal literally jumps through hoops in order to get a fish. When we teach people they need us, we do the same thing. People teach generations of families they cannot make it on their own. They teach them they're not smart enough to earn their own way. They say, just do what we say, vote the way we tell you, and we'll take care of you. And why? Because you're not as bright as they are. Bull. They also teach people they're not smart enough to get into a certain school unless they help them. They can't get a certain job unless they step in with their quotas. If I were a minority and I got into a certain school because of my own ability, I'd be beyond furious at those who got in because of a quota. Look around. There is no group of people who needs us to feed them because of their own inabilities. That kind of thinking is bigoted, extremely bigoted, and it needs to stop. I don't like it, and I think we're doing these good people a great disservice in the Zumwalt Zone.
Good morning, clear skies to start out your Wednesday. It'll be a gorgeous day outside, sunny and dry weather in the forecast. A little breezy at times this afternoon, but overall high temperatures today will climb in the low 60s to the north, mid to upper 60s as you head towards the south. Absolutely beautiful weather in store, but mostly clear skies tonight allow temperatures to fall very quickly, dipping down in the mid to upper 30s, lower 40s as you head towards the Sandhills. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the leader man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
So what day is it?
Today's Wednesday.
We make a great team.
Sure do. Who are these people?
They're creepy, but boy, are they funny.
No doubt about it.
They're seriously so funny.
Good morning, everyone.
Wake up!
Good morning. Good morning.
Here we go. Come on, let's start the show. It's showtime.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams.
And I'm Matt Horsey, the Leader Man's nearsighted sidekick, or whatever.
Don't forget, of course, we are being seen around the world on our live video stream at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link that will get you there. If you're on your mobile device, YouTube will do the job for you. Put Mornings with the Leader Man, all one word into your search. If you're on your mobile device just seeking our audio stream, that's available through TuneIn, iTunes, Streama. Other platforms will do it as well. Just put WEEB into that search so we pop up at the top. And also, you can get it off of our website anytime at talk973.com. Icons in the upper right-hand corner. You tap that once, and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills. Sunny with a high of 64. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 40. Tomorrow will be the last sunny day for a while. Partly cloudy with a high of 59. And late Thursday night, rain moves into the area. Look for a low of 45. You wake up to cloud and rain on Friday. 90% chance of it, and we'll only make 49 as for a high is the best we'll do. 45 Friday night, 55 Saturday under rain. Sunday, the sun breaks back out. Will be partly cloudy with a high of 66. And Monday, same thing, just a high of 63. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are calm, visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure 3021, dew point 41, humidity 93%. Sunny and 43 right now here at Talk 97.3 FM and 104.1 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Boy, he is good, isn't he? Talking about me walking that ending up. All right, it is 8:31, 31 past the hour. I'll tell you what, let's do this hour. Let's do something we haven't done in a couple of days, and that is...
now it's time for... Yes! 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 Or BS! Don't hit me back to good bullshit.
All right, time for another rousing round of yes or BS. That's where we'll give Matt a statement. He'll say, yes, it's true, or no, that's total BS. We're 1 week from Halloween, so the topic is famous ghosts.
Famous ghosts.
Famous ghosts. Slimmer,
I don't believe in ghosts.
Slimmer from Ghostbusters did not have legs.
Slimer,
whatever.
Yes. He did have arms, though.
That's correct. He had arms and a face. Other than that, he's just a big green blob. The two creepy girls seen standing in the hallway in The Shining were actually played by the same actors, not twins.
BS.
That is BS. They were played by two identical twins named Lisa and Louise Burns. They were about 12 when the movie came out, and they're 50 years old now, by the way. Patrick Swayze was nominated for an Oscar for his role in the movie Ghosts.
BS.
It is BS. It was for 5. It was up for 5 Oscars, but only one of them was for acting, and that was Whoopi Goldberg, who won Best Supporting Actress, and also won Best Original Screenplay that year. Swayze was never nominated for an Oscar. In the original Pac-Man game, there are 4 different ghosts that chases you.
Yes.
Yes, can you name the colors?
The colors. Well, let's see. There's yellow. Pink.
There is pink.
Blue.
Light blue.
Red.
No. Aren't you glad I answered this question? Asked you this question.
Yeah, I got it right.
Orange is the color. Their names are Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. Oh, there was a red one. My bad.
Yes, you're bad.
My bad.
Very bad indeed. So
Shame.
I believe you're batting 1,000 then.
Batting 1,000.
We'll see whether or not it's a B or an A.
Probably a B.
Casper, the friendly ghost, last name was McFadden.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, they revealed his last name in the 95 movie Casper. Before he was a ghost, he was a kid named Casper McFadden. He died of pneumonia after playing outside in the snow too long.
Which doesn't cause pneumonia, but okay.
Well, something did, got him sick, weakened him so that the body filled up with fluid in the lungs.
Whatever.
You know.
Bacteria.
Had he not been out there, he probably wouldn't have died. But we'll never know if the fictitious character would have lived or not.
See?
I know. Moving on to rim shots this morning. While we're on the subject of Halloween, before we go there, let me get it down here. All right. Got the, this is candystore.com, the best and worst Halloween loot there, supposedly. In addition to surveying more than 40,000 customers, they merged the data with reports from 12 additional media sources on the topic to ask what were the most popular and least popular Halloween candies. Let's see if Matt knows which list. We got two lists. I'm going to mix the list up.
Oh, you had to take me down, didn't you?
I have to take you down and see how well you know kids' preferences toward candies.
Doesn't say kids, just says people.
Okay. Least favorite candies or most popular candy. So you just say popular or not popular.
All right.
Candy corn.
Popular.
No.
Oh, good.
Number 2 on the least popular.
Oh, I'm relieved to hear that.
Licorice.
Licorice, as in black licorice or red licorice?
Just said licorice.
I'll say popular.
No.
Hey.
It's on the not popular list. Mary Jane's.
Mary Jane's, popular.
No.
I don't even know what Mary Jane's are. I should have said no.
Butterfingers.
Yes, popular.
That is popular. Hershey bar.
Not popular.
It's number 10 on the popular list.
Hershey bar?
Yeah, it's right there at the bottom.
Brother.
But still on the popular list. Wax Coke bottles. Remember that? Yeah.
I remember. I loved them as a kid. We found
I'm
some.
not sure I never knew how to eat them. Like, what'd you do? Bite the top off and drink it? Is that it?
Yeah, you suck the sugar water out, but they are absolutely horrendous as an adult.
Yeah. They're on the least popular list.
When my kids were little, we found a candy store in a mall up in New York that was selling a lot of the old stuff, you know, the candy cigarettes and all that. So we got some of those bottles and yuck!
Nerds.
Nerds would be popular.
That is on the popular list. What are they?
They're
I'm just not hip enough to know this one.
Well, they're like kind of little tiny sour jawbreakers. They're just little.
Okay, just small.
You remember the gold? You get the bag of gold gum. They're kind of like that, except they're not gum.
Okay. M&M's.
M&M's would be. This is plain M&M's. I'll say popular.
They are on the popular list. Circus peanuts.
No.
That's pretty obvious.
I like them.
Who wants to go to the trouble of cracking open a peanut and eating it?
I do. I used to eat the shells, too. Good roughage.
When I was at QDR, they had a girl that worked there on the air. Her name was Karen Barnes, and she worked there and then went to Charlotte. And we were at an Alabama concert, the group Alabama. And I had a bag of circus peanuts. And I offered her some. She said, sure. She throws the whole thing, shell and all, in her mouth.
Yeah.
And she took, I said, help yourself. I
don't really want that many. And she kept on eating, throwing the shells and everything in her mouth. And I asked her, I said, "Are you eating the shells?" I thought we'd at least get a spitting contest or something going here with the shells. She said, "Yeah, when I was a kid, my mom put circus peanuts around. And I didn't know they were salted outside, so they had flavor."
Right.
And she says, "I just ate them, shell and all, and I just got used to it."
Yeah.
I went, ew.
It's a lot of salt, but yeah, they're not bad.
But anyway, she liked it, and that's all that mattered. I guess there's nutritional value probably more in the shell than the nut.
Probably. Well, there's definitely fiber.
So anyway, back to my list. All right, popular or not popular? Necco wafers.
Not popular.
They are not popular. Kit Kat.
Yes, popular.
Snickers.
Yes, of course, popular.
They are. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Popular.
They are the most popular, followed by Snickers.
Oh, no, Snickers for me.
Seems like if you see
especially almond Snickers.
I'll mention the trend after we get through. Smarties. What is a Smartie?
Smartie is a sweet candy covered sour inside.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to say popular. Those are pretty good.
No. Least popular.
You people are stupid! All right. Got that out.
Sour Patch Kids.
I guess popular.
It is popular.
I can only take one or two, though.
Skittles.
Skittles. Yeah, popular.
They are popular. Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls. No, not popular.
They're not. I don't get that.
Somehow that gets up my nasal passage when I eat. I don't know what it is.
Well, you're weird anyway.
My uvula doesn't work
count.
right or something.
Yeah. Probably come from the day you were snorting Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
That's the way you get it stuck up there.
We chopped them finely.
Oh, have you ever heard Coke is a Russian, or no, chocolate's a Russian? Matt chopped it all up and snorted it.
Chocolate's a Russian?
Rush.
Oh.
Anyway, let's see if I got any more. Peanut Butter Kisses.
Peanut Butter Kisses would be on the unpopular side.
It would. I guess it takes too long to dig into them because you got to unwrap every single one.
Yeah, I mean, there shouldn't be a lot of difference between that and the...
time spent away from chomping down on it counts, I guess.
Because they're both made by Hershey's, right? That and the peanut butter cups.
Yeah. Sour Patch Kids. I did that?
Yeah, you did that.
All right. I think I've covered them all. But here are the most popular in order, from best to worst. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Snickers, Twix, Kit Kat, M&M's, Nerds, Butterfingers, Sour Patch Kids, Skittles, and Hershey Bar. You see a trend in what's popular against the non-popular, which were Circus Peanuts, candy corn, wax Coke bottles, Necco wafers, Peanut Butter Kisses, Tootsie Rolls, Smarties, licorice, Good and Plenty. I didn't do that one.
Oh, I like Good and Plenty.
What is that?
That's black licorice covered in candy.
And Mary Jane's.
What are Mary Jane's?
That's sweetened peanut butter in a little cube.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like those.
It's just hard to get into getting all that wax paper off before you can consume.
Maybe that's it. So what's the trend? Well, I think generally the trend is that the stuff on the good list tastes better than the other stuff.
The main trend, I think, is much higher calories, and either one of them are low in calories, but it just seems Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, they got a rating way up there, and massive amounts of calories in it.
Yeah. Well, another connection there is advertising. The good list is heavily advertised for the most part.
Well, as we all know, size also matters. I'm talking about candy. you can be sure that whatever kind of candy you choose will matter less if you are generous in your proportion size. You know, for Halloween and all the like, you get a Three Musketeer. Well, no, it isn't. It's one Musketeer when you get it. As a Halloween treat. It's cut way down. Maybe it's grandchild size.
Now, I heard once that Three Musketeer and Milky Way were mislabeled, that they were supposed to have each other's names, and that makes sense. But there it is.
All right. Well, that's it for the candy surprise. Let's go to rim shots this morning and see how we do there. A quarter of young people think marriage should be temporary contract. Have they learned nothing from their parents? It already is. I was lucky. Mine survived until death. My parents.
I was going to say, I don't think...
it was 56 years they were married.
It's a long time.
You can get a burrito for $4 at Chipotle if you wear a costume on Halloween. Just make sure that costume has pants so you can slip them off at a moment's notice, though, after eating them.
No mask so that when you're throwing up from the diseases you get over there.
Scientists say that for the first time they've discovered potentially toxic microplastics in people's poop. They've also discovered the worst job in science. A new study says breathing through your nose can boost your memory.
Worst job in science.
Breathing through your nose can boost your memory. In related news, Eli Manning just asked, "Where the hell did I put my keys?" A New York college will offer a scholarship in esports.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, that diploma's going to do well on the wall, isn't it? And you thought college athletics had a problem with drugs before. A new Hershey's bar mixes chocolate with Reese's Pieces. Of course, you can make your own by mixing each half of your own breakfast every morning. An Australia pro surfer said he headbutted and then punched a shark that had latched onto his arm in order to save his own life. But he may have gone too far when he put the shark in a headlock and repeatedly said, "Stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself." I know. Went a long ways for that one.
That was hilarious.
That was almost as good as your Reader's Digest. Not quite.
Yeah, don't put down my jokes.
But the thing is, with sharks, their nose is their most sensitive area. If you get latched onto, if you can, punch nose, gouge eyes, and he may let go. But in the meantime, this 2-ton monster is going to be shaking you like a blade of grass, so it's a little hard to do anything other than yell. An Australian pro, he did that. All right. A new report shows that 92% of media coverage of the president is negative. Well, thankfully, Trump never lets things get under his skin, so I'm sure this is the last we'll hear of that, right? An Arkansas grocery store security guard smacked a shoplifter with a piece of raw meat after she pulled a knife on him. This was according to several rib-eye witnesses. That's Reader's Digest. Matt's grinning on that one. He actually liked that one.
No.
I'll probably hear it 12 more times.
No, I'm just impressed that it's okay when you do it.
No,
but you're right. That was
pointing it out. It's your level joke there.
All right. At least you're getting some meaty jokes in here.
A new study shows eating organic food lowers your risk of cancer, which is great because the previous driving soccer moms in the Whole Foods parking lot desperately need something else to stimulate their life, don't you think?
I think so. I drive a Prius.
Well, Whole Foods has good food.
Whole Foods doesn't let you in there with your gun, though.
Well, that's a prerogative.
It is.
Yep.
It absolutely is.
Yep. The bank doesn't either. That's their prerogative.
It depends on the bank.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Mine doesn't. I have to unload every time I go in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there anymore then. That's just me. I don't want to go in unarmed.
I was in there once when it got robbed.
See? Apparently.
This is before I carried concealed. But
was it an armed robbery?
Well, I was standing right next to the robber and didn't know it. Of course, there's a pretty good separation between lines.
Yeah.
And I was in line. And when I'm in a bank, I go in mind your own business mode. I'm not looking at what someone else is doing.
Right.
With their money.
Right, which is just good etiquette.
Yeah. So I just stay, focused on what I'm doing. And I heard a mumble from the robber, who I did notice he had a terrible wig on. He had a blonde, curly wig on. It was African-American.
Well, you're not going to stand out that way.
No, not at all. That's what caught my attention. And then he calmly walked out, and the teller turned to me and started shaking her hands, going, and the teller in front of me said, "Did you just get robbed?" She went, yeah. Man, didn't even know it, because he was a small guy. Leaderman could have easily taken him. But put my old high school wrestling moves on him.
Yeah.
But
you're 6 feet, right? You don't know if he had a gun or not.
Don't know.
Yeah, all banks that
they're trained to say, because they don't want any customer or employee being hurt. They just say, they empty their cash drawer, give it to them, go. No, you can pull out a gun and want to go to the vault or anything like that. It's just tell her when to hit and go. So
all armed robbers
kept everybody safe.
All armed robbers who have robbed places with no gun signs didn't care about the no gun signs. I'm just saying.
That's right. But I was just saying, I didn't know we had been robbed until it was over and done with. And he was gone before I knew.
I agree with you. It absolutely should be the prerogative of every private business to put that sign up if they want to. That's their right and my obligation to honor it. I either leave my gun in the car or I don't go in. And I just choose not to go in. I don't want to be in an unarmed place.
All right, 8:52, 52 past the hour. It wouldn't be a good day unless, speaking of the police, we did a little chasing of our own.
You, my pretty, and your little dog, too. What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
All right, my friends, it's time once again to draw in that big breath of air. Let that big, hairy, manly chest stick out. Straight across the floor in the south, the Duke John Wayne. Open up those closet doors to view all 30 of your beautiful Liberty safes from Carthage Shooting Sports. And today we're going to mosey over to safe number 18.
18, that's a Franklin.
All right, Franklin it is. We'll open it up for Matt to reach in and grab the weapon of choice this morning.
All right, this is Revolver Week, Steve, because I know you don't like revolvers. So I'm going to give you a Rock Island Armory M200 revolver and 38 Special. 4-inch barrel. It's a pretty big gun.
Well, the nice thing about revolvers is they don't eject the hot casing.
That's true. They have less moving parts for something to go wrong with.
Did you ever have one eject, go down the back of your shirt? You're doing a quick dance then.
Yes.
Ow. It's just amazing how hot those small casings can get so quick.
Yeah, I was out on an Army range with body armor on, and the foxhole next to me, the M16 round, ejected and flew over and landed on my neck, protected by my body armor. So that was
kind of hard to get.
It was tough. I got a good burn.
Well, 'tis the season for stuff like this, I guess. 35-year-old guy named Corey Nelson was at a witchcraft shop in Salem, Massachusetts on Saturday night, and apparently he was drunk and got into an argument with another guy there. You always like talking alcohol, don't you? He got physical, and Corey grabbed a weapon, a witch's
cauldron. What is a cauldron?
Big, the big pot.
Okay.
You can do some serious
You
damage.
can tell I'm not a kitchen guy very often. Anyway, then he slammed it into another guy's head. 2 police were patrolling the area, and the guy ran up to him with his head bleeding and told him he'd been attacked. They arrested Corey inside the witchcraft shop. He's been charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and placing hexes on cops.
I was out wandering through a hot neighborhood once, or a hot business area, and there was a little witch shop, so I went in for a spell.
I knew I should have kept reading. Stupid criminal news number 2. No one gets into the robbery business because they're a genius. As we all know, earlier this week, 6 guys went into an e-cigarette shop in Belgium and tried to rob the place. The owner told him he didn't have any money, but if they come back at the end of the day, he'd have a few $1,000s. And they believed him. And they actually came back. They showed up again at 5:30. He told him he didn't close for an hour. So then they came back again.
What do you call this segment?
It's like we have a 6:30 appointment to rob you. This time the police were waiting there. They said these 2 dumb guys came at 5:30 and told them to come back in an hour. I expect they'll be just as dumb then. They were. The owner says, quote, "It was like a comedy. They're being called the worst robbers in Belgium." Gee, you think? And be thankful for the grandparents you had.
That guy was very firm in what he did, apparently. He didn't waffle at all.
Every grandma in history of grandmas has a policy. Don't put your cups on my table without a coaster. Someone just dared to violate that policy, and this is what happened. A 75-year-old woman named Helen Washington in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. And earlier this month, her grandson was at her house and drinking some tea. No word on how old he is, but we know he's an adult. Well, he kept putting the teacup down on her furniture, even when she told him not to. And finally, she was so upset that he grabbed her gun and shot him in the leg.
She grabbed her gun.
Yeah. The police arrested her for felony assault, and she told him she didn't think she deserved to go to jail over this. She's still in court in December, and she could be facing up to 7 years in prison or a $14,000 fine or both.
Alternatively,
all over teacup.
Alternatively, perhaps just moving her into a dementia ward. Sounds to me like things aren't quite right upstairs anymore.
May not be. That's your stupid criminal news for this Wednesday hump day.
I'm sure everybody heard that Sandra Day O'Connor, former Supreme Court Justice, just announced she's got some kind of dementia, probably Alzheimer's, and is going to stay out of public life. Terrible disease. Awful.
All right, so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. And don't forget, millions of Americans, they have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man and Nick and Colt the Dog. We'll all see you at 2 this afternoon at the dog park.
And I'm Matt Horsey with a quote from Grantland Rice. Who is Grantland Rice? It doesn't really matter. A wise man makes his own decisions. An ignorant man follows the public opinion. Stay tuned for the Chris Plant Show, followed by Rush Limbaugh at noon. Sean Hannity comes on at 3 and Mark Levin at 6. Join the conversation and like us at facebook.com/WEEB990. And we'll be back tomorrow at 7 for Mornings with the Leader Man.